Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the Turning Heels podcast. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by my co-host, Mike, and his entourage. How is everybody tonight?
But actually, I'm a co-host. She's a co-host.
I'll just say I'm the special guest today.
And I'm here.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, good to see you tonight. Mike, what about this past weekend of wrestling, man? You know what? I am going to take a moment before we get into all that because I have to say, guys, I've been all board, screaming at how the great wrestling attributes of Liv Morgan. She finally gets her flowers. She is the women's world champion. Like I said, I couldn't get it wrong. Like, I couldn't not pick her in that match. Like, I had to because I've been championing Liv Morgan for women's world champion for a long time. She finally got it. I'm so happy for her. And what a great featured spot. Then she main events Monday Night Raw and beats Becky Lynch inside a steel cage. Just what a tremendous 48 hours that must have been for Liv.
Must have been. I mean, for her to win another world title, have another opportunity. Hopefully she does more with this title reign than the last one.
Yes.
It's been a little bit. So maybe they will give her proper reign right now. It is kind of, before we went on air, we did mention how the Raw women's roster is getting thinned out because of injuries and contracts. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with Liv and who she's going to feud with at first.
Yeah, it's funny. There's been a lot of conflicting reports in the last couple of days about Becky Lynch and her contract situation. I'll give you my speculation because as much as I just started talking about how great it was for Liv Morgan having won at Queen of the Ring and then, retaining the championship on Raw, I will say the match at King and Queen of the Ring was a lot better than their match on Monday Night Raw, just as far as like in-ring action and everything. Like, it just was a better match, and you could tell the body language on Becky Lynch. She seemed very uninterested, and like, I don't know if part of that was she may have been expecting over the last day or so WWE's best offer, and maybe she got it and it was underwhelming, or maybe she didn't get the best offer, and that could be why she seemed kind of pouty face in the match. And Liv, as great as she is, and as much as I will always, exasperate how incredible she is in the ring, she's not at that level where she can by herself just carry a match like that. She's not one of those that can, as Hunter used to say, have a match with a broomstick and make the broomstick look like $1 million.
Exactly. Yeah, she's not at that level, and it shows.
No.
I mean, I don't know if Becky was just expecting to drop the title in Saudi Arabia and not have a match Monday night. It was just kind of, it felt really random almost.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the whole, like, she was using her rematch clause, and it's like, oh, so we're bringing them back? Because remember how stale they made the product in that, like, 2015, 16, and 17?
Right.
Like, every other night it was, oh, we've got a new champion, so now we have a rematch with the old champion. It's like, I used to dread seeing title changes because I knew, all right, well, it's going to be 3 more months of these two on pay-per-views.
But I do have to say I am excited about another rematch clause, though.
Mm-hmm.
And that being Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle.
Oh, I'm very excited about that matchup. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. As it turns out, I'm probably going to have a family obligation that day on June 15th, but I will find a way to watch that show.
Yeah, I think if I have to work that day, at least it's the morning, and I'll be home in time to enjoy the Clash of Castle live that afternoon.
Nice. Nice. I got to tell you, I'm a fan of what they've been doing as far as a lot of these international shows. Like, I always wondered what it was like. Okay, it's the World Wrestling Entertainment or Federation, depending on when I was thinking about it. But, like, man, it's like, oh, so it's the World Wrestling Entertainment, but their shows are in Dallas, New York, Chicago. It's like, it's all in the United States. Yet
Right.
I know they have a huge European market that just clamors for this product. Like,
Yeah.
why don't they go over there more? And now that they finally have, and what a big surprise! Like, Backlash had the highest grossing event in the history of the company.
Right. Well, I think it's also due to the fact how now their PLEs are being distributed. Where I think it used to have to be in either United States or Canada so you could get the live pay-per-view buys.
Right.
Where now everything is the first day streams on your Peacocks, your Netflix, all your Hulus. That's the key demographic. So now, yeah, we can have an event 5:00 in the morning in Australia. And then
because it doesn't matter because we can watch it at 11 or noon or whenever.
Right, you can,
and it still counts. Yeah, it's almost the same day.
So I think that globalization is going to benefit WWE in a lot of ways because now they can do these bigger shows internationally to get the more rabid fan base there.
Now, do you think it's going to be affected at all by the move that it's been rumored that it's eventually here they're going to move their premium live events back to Sundays and get away from the Saturday events. I wonder how that's going to affect things, especially those in the United States, because like that means fans in Europe are going to be up, like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, what on a Sunday Monday morning,
right,
watching these shows. Like, it was different when you said, hey, stay up late with us on a Saturday night and watch these shows, as opposed to, hey, stay up until you have to get ready for work on Monday morning because screw you, we want these events on Sundays.
I don't know why they would go back to Sunday. Seeing
I don't either.
Well, Saturday's doing for them. The other thing is will they still go international on a Sunday, especially Sundays from September till January? You have these nerds who watch a lot of football. I know that's why I said it that way, just to get you.
Yeah.
Just to get you going. I know I am.
Oh, I am a total nerd, and I love football.
Right.
And look, as much as I love watching wrestling, and I'll still watch the product, but if you put up WWE against Sunday night football or Sunday afternoon football, and I'm sorry, WWE, you're not winning that battle. Like,
exactly
that battle.
And let's face it, you would have a better battle against college football.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So keep it Saturday. You've got a good thing going. I don't think in the spring it matters as much, but definitely in the fall, you have to stay away from the NFL, I think.
Yeah, and I for my own selfish reasons, I hate having the events on Sunday. Like, what next Sunday is Battleground for NXT, and I'll watch some of it. I'll stay up till 9:30, 10 o'clock or whatever watching it. But then I'm gonna be going to bed because I got work in the morning, and I'm not taking off the next day, so I can stay up and watch an NXT show.
Right, exactly.
Now I will in 2 years take off the Monday after SummerSlam in Minnesota,
Okay.
but that is another big deal. Do you think there's anything to like? Why would they have already announced 2026 SummerSlam and not have announced 2025 SummerSlam? I guess it's probably just when they could arrange that deal with Minnesota and do the 2-night thing.
Yeah. I could, and I think it's A, the 2-night thing, and B, it's kind of like, I think WrestleMania 2026 is down to like 2 cities in theory.
Yeah. What are the ones you've heard?
Well, I don't think it's going to come. The one that would make the most sense, 2026, being the 100 or
250 years, yeah, of the United States.
Years of United
I've
States.
talked about this before. Yeah, that WrestleMania 42 would be in Philly. Yeah.
Right, to bring it to the birthplace. But
Yeah.
I think it could be London.
That would make, I mean, that would make sense.
The way
John Cena has been clamoring for the WrestleMania in London forever. He's been very public about that.
Right. I think they deserve a WrestleMania, but
Sure. I
that's
just wouldn't want to miss that 250-year anniversary. Like, that's one of those things that doesn't come around every year. I would want to, like, save that for WrestleMania 43.
Right.
That would be when I would go to London.
right. So are they going to do a WrestleMania 42 in America? And really, if they do it, it probably should be Philadelphia. But I could also see a Boston or a DC getting it that year.
I will say if it's in the United States, it's got to be. I would think you mentioned DC, FedEx Field down there in Washington D.C. is an absolute dumpster. With all due respect to dumpsters everywhere.
Right.
So I don't mean to offend any dumpsters, but that stadium is a giant turd.
Okay.
Now, I mean, they could still just defiantly run it there because they can just be like, we'll sprinkle a little WrestleMania dust on it, and like they did that with was it the Citrus Bowl in Florida? They fixed up that stadium for the WrestleMania, and it was like as soon as they left, it just became the crap hole it is again. So, I mean, I suppose they could do that if they wanted.
They could, yeah.
But I would think New York would make a lot of sense. Like going back to MetLife would be the other one that, like, if it's not Philly.
Right. Yeah.
But I would love for it to be Philly, obviously, because now I have a chance to go.
Right. Yeah.
It would be like Drew McIntyre. I talked about him wanting his WrestleMania redo. This would be my WrestleMania redo.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with that, and if they are going to make SummerSlam 2 nights, are they going to do it next year?
Yeah, I wonder because now they've already teased that for 2 years. To me, what you're saying is, and one having already announced where 2026 is, you're announcing 2025 later. That's got to be bigger to me. Like, and it's got to be the same, the 2-night thing. Otherwise, you're basically telling your audience, hey, like, even though we're announced, like, this is next year's show, this is less than the one in 2 years. And how do you get an audience excited, like, basically over a year in advance for a show that you're already saying isn't going to be as big a deal as the next one?
Right. Or could that be the one going to London?
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
The first 2-night SummerSlam there.
And look, we talked about, like, we thought Minneapolis was, like, we both thought Minneapolis was a prime target for next year's WrestleMania.
Right. And
It
kind of
seems like this is their consolation prize. Yeah.
right. So that's why I'm thinking 2026's Mania has to be
Mhm.
somewhere big.
Yeah.
And if they're and maybe after thinking, talking, maybe it's going to be a SummerSlam next year in London for the first 2-night one,
Right.
and then bring, because really Mania should be in Philly for the
I agree.
250th. But will they put it there? I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
look, there is a precedence for it. They went to Atlantic City 2 years in a row, 4 and 5.
right.
And look, they went to New Orleans, WrestleMania 30 and 34. I know, like this is as close a gap as we've gotten since 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
The
Yeah.
back to back.
Right.
If
But
Philadelphia were to get it in 42.
right.
Yeah.
Because it seems like everything's coming here. And
Yeah. The MLB All-Star Game. I know the NHL and NBA, there's talk of at least one of those All-Star games coming here.
I think both
Yeah.
are going to get it. The World Cup's coming that year.
Right.
It's a big historic year. So I think.
I will say I'm going to have to try to get to a World Cup match. That's one of those things. It's always been kind of on my bucket list, but one of those things I was never willing to like travel really far for.
Right. A couple of my good friends went to Brazil because they wanted to go so desperately, and now it's going to be in our backyard. So.
Oh boy, looks like we got a train going back there behind you.
Now we have a train going. It's a school bus.
Oh, a school bus. Sorry, my mistake.
Yes. So.
Okay, so if you have our stats from this past weekend.
I do. I
Okay.
do. Let me see here. Let me bring them up because I did horrible at King and Queen of the Ring. Absolutely disgraceful. Okay.
Yeah, look, all I know is I scored in the first match of the night with my Liv Morgan pick, and to me, every other pick could just cancel out. I don't even, it doesn't
Right.
matter.
So for King and Queen of the Ring, I got a whopping 3 points. I only got Cody, right? The whole thing.
Oh, wow.
So I went to 95. You got 9 points and went to 89. And Sean got 4 points and went to 74.
Good job, Sean.
Then we go to Double or Nothing. I picked up 12 points, finishing the weekend at 107. You got 5 points. You got 2 matches, right? You got, for Double or Nothing, you got 10 points, bringing you up to 99. And Sean got 9 points, bringing him up to 83.
Okay.
So the gap narrowed with
that was my goal for the weekend. Narrow the gap.
Abysmal picking that happened. And Sean did his flip-flop and cost himself some points. Well, first he flip-flopped going through the Rand, he picked up points, but then he flip-flopped Malachi, Adam Copeland to Malachi, and lost points. So
okay, so Copeland won
Copeland won, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Copeland did win. The Elite won the main event, the Anarchy in the Arena. Swerve defeated Christian. Mercedes defeated Willow. I'm just going down the list. The Bang Bang Gang defeated Death Triangle, but Juice Robinson came back, so that's
okay.
Jericho beat Shibata and Hook, which we all got wrong.
Yeah.
Orange beat Trent. Mox defeated Takeshka. Tony Storm defeated Serena
Deeb, yeah.
And Ospreay defeated Roddy Strong. So
yeah, I was gonna say. So we each got Let's see. You picked. We all picked Osprey, right?
We all picked Osprey. We all picked Tony Storm. I'm the only one who picked Copeland.
Yeah.
You're the only one who picked Takeshka. Sean's the only one who picked Trent. None of us picked Jericho.
Yeah, you're right. None of us picked Jericho.
Mercedes Monet, Sean and I picked.
Yeah.
Swerve, you and I picked. You won with the Elite. You were the only one to pick them.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good.
And Sean's the only one who won with the Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for him on that one. He got that one right.
All right. So,
Yeah.
so now,
Overall, like I know you didn't watch Double or Nothing, right?
we saw a little bit of it.
Okay. Did you watch the buy-in?
No. We've
Okay.
just seen like highlights here and there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about the return of MJF?
I'm happy for them because I think they need somebody to move the needle a little bit. I'm really hoping they do something good with him.
Agreed.
I did see the memes. I don't know if you saw them on Facebook yet. How MJF was in the jean jacket, and it says, "When you order Triple H on Temu." I don't know if you saw that.
That is great.
Just like, boy, people ride Temu and Wish no matter what.
That is hilarious.
But I just, I really hope when they do all this with MJF, this return, I hope that he gets back into the main title picture soon because I think they need him in there.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I want to see MJF versus Swerve. I want to see MJF versus Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what that. Like, do we know how long before Adam Cole could be cleared? And
not to my
I
knowledge.
was gonna say they haven't. Yeah, they haven't released anything.
They've really kept that under wraps. I don't know how bad it is.
Right.
It
must have been bad.
It must have been bad. The fact that they are keeping everything under wraps. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping. Like, my hope was always that he was able to come back for All In, or All in London,
right?
And then hopefully win the world title there, and then maybe even drop it a week later and All Out.
Right.
So MJF, I think that would be the best way to do it.
I think so. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with that scenario. Because next up is Forbidden Door,
right?
Which is always one of my favorite AEW events of the year.
Yeah, it's funny. I've never watched a Forbidden Door, but the idea is very intriguing. And speaking of Forbidden Doors, I mean that's a nice little segue into NXT, and they've got to open the Forbidden Door with TNA. And Jordynne Grace, we saw her at the Royal Rumble, and that was a really cool moment. And that was a nice one-off that, and something they established when they had Mickie James show up.
Right.
Man. Like, do you think this is one of those things where Jordan's agreed to the terms with WWE, but as far as like WWE had to negotiate some with TNA, and maybe they said, hey, why don't we have her show up on our show wearing your championship, but make sure to honor it and credit it and not like do what Nitro did with the women's world title.
Right. I'm beginning to think that we might be moving towards a TNA versus NXT Super Show.
Oh God, that would be so cool.
I'm thinking we might get one of them sooner.
Well, is TNA is owned by the same company that owns WWE, right? TKO.
No, TNA is owned by Anthem Sports.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, because
No,
I do have a TNA Plus membership.
right, because TNA kind of for their streaming service went to TKO and TKO is helping them with getting their streaming service.
I wonder if maybe something like this was part of the agreement.
It might be, and I think if they actually bring in, because I would love to see a Trick Williams versus Moose match.
Oh, that'd be great.
Champion versus champion. I mean,
yeah,
we are getting Jordan against Roxanne, so
I'll tell you, man, like this makes me really wish Dragunov was still in NXT because I would love to get me an Ilya Dragunov versus Josh Alexander.
Right. We still might get it. You never know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we certainly could.
Yeah.
That would be a great undercard match for, like you said, the TNA NXT Super Show.
Right. I mean, let's face it, NXT hasn't done a Worlds Collide, and it would be kind of cool to do an NXT versus TNA.
That would be pretty intense.
Yeah.
I would love to see them just like smack AEW in the face with that. Like when's Bash in Berlin? Is that that's not Labor Day weekend, is it?
Bash in Berlin, I looked all this up recently. Hold on. Because I was looking it up because SummerSlam is before it.
Right.
And I figure Bash in Berlin, Gunther would be champion if he wins.
Yeah, I think he's going to. I think he's going to beat Drew at SummerSlam because I think Drew's winning the championship at Clash at the Castle and then dropping it to Gunther.
Right, because the Bash in Berlin is Labor Day weekend.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, man, it'd be a slap in the face of all things AEW if they ran that. If they ran the Worlds Collide the same weekend as whatchamacallit, as All Out, or maybe they could do it the week earlier and do it the same week of All In.
They could in theory, because All In is on Denise's birthday this year.
Yeah,
the 25th.
So I'll be over. I'll bring a cake. It'll be great. We'll have a great time.
Yeah. We'll bring you. We'll sing happy birthday, do all that fun stuff as well.
Yes,
we'll get the cake and all.
Yeah.
Your birthday happens to be a big AEW event, All In.
It's every day different, but no, not for WWE. Not for AEW.
She said if it was WWE, it'd be different, but she's not a huge fan of AEW.
That's all right. Not many people are.
Yeah, not many. Yeah. I mean, we are the few, and
the few that maybe sometimes not so proud.
Exactly.
The AEW fans.
Right. Yeah, but no, Bash in Berlin is August 31st. And All In would be September 1st.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I imagine they could do the Worlds Collide the week before, the same weekend as All In.
Right.
Which, to me, man, that would be such a bam right there to AEW.
It really would be a bam to them, but it'll be interesting.
And I would love it.
Yes. Yeah, because I can see them, the way TNA is being embraced in WWE.
Yes.
The fact that we're going to see Jordan grace the WWE ring twice this year. I think we're going to have some open relationships, and I think they need
Yeah.
that.
And do you think? I really think, man, this could be the WWE already basically has a contract worked out with Jordan Grace for her to make the jump over. And I wonder if it's hey, let's make sure to do the right thing by TNA on your way out the door.
It could be.
So let's have you do this spot here with us, but we're going to have you put that shine on the TNA Knockouts Championship and, really put that belt over on your way out.
Right. Which could be too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of possibilities. I'm looking
Because
forward.
Trinity still worked at TNA, after she had made the commitment to come to WWE.
Right. This would not be unprecedented if WWE
Right.
has made deals with people who are working for TNA, because I don't think TNA offers contracts, or if they do, they're very
Right.
just come to the tapings, and you could do your own things.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's funny. So, listening to the Bruce Pritchard podcast, he did a couple episodes on TNA while because he worked there for a little bit,
Yeah.
twice. And he said that, they would work out these contracts with guys, and in it, there would be clearly no non-compete. Like, you could literally work for TNA one day, and then the next day book yourself in another house show or another independent wrestling company. And they would do these deals where they would guarantee a talent, like, say, 200 days, but they only had 180 possible days.
Right.
So unless they worked every stinking show, and they would still be 20 short of meeting that downside guarantee.
Yeah.
So they would always make all that money. And there were times where guys would basically turn down a show at TNA because they were working at another show somewhere. And basically TNA was just like, oh, okay.
Right.
And that blows my damn mind that TNA wouldn't be like, well, then you're in breach of contract, buddy. You've been offered this date. And
I think a lot of that has to do with a weak TV deal.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, they haven't had a good TV deal since they've been off Spike.
Yeah.
Which
were they on? Destination America. They were on.
They were on some real bonehead networks. Destination America. I think they're on Vice now.
Yeah, they're on Vice now, which I don't have Vice, or I don't have that, or I'm not on. Yeah, I do have Vice, but I don't have access.
Right,
and so I have to watch it on the app. And normally I watch it the next day, like every show. But it's funny because I've never had that station. And if I did, I probably wouldn't have ordered TNA Plus because I wouldn't have cared enough to get it.
Right. See, we Comcast, to have Vice, it was part of the extended package, and we were paying something ridiculous, like $80 a month for it.
Oh, that's horseshit.
And it was
they would they do the same thing to us. Yeah.
The kids' networks that they like, but we have all the streaming services. So if they want to watch Big City Greens instead, or Bluey, instead of watching it on Nick Disney Jr., you can watch it on Disney Plus. Same with Big City Greens, Disney XD, Disney Plus. So that was one of those.
Thing, I don't have kids. You just said a whole lot of words I do not understand.
Exactly. It was kind of like, we had to take some channels away. They had to get sacrificed, and Vice did. But other than that, I mean, all the other channels they are charging us like $80 a month for we weren't even using. So what's the point for 3?
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And especially when like basically every other show you can watch on one of the streaming services you already have. Like why would you pay
Exactly.
just to have them on the cable? Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, it's absurd, some of these rates. And like for, unfortunately, Dark Side of the Ring, I missed a lot of this season because I don't have Vice. So I'll have to wait
Yeah,
till
when's that available on Hulu? Like, because I mean, I watch everything on Hulu. I stream that through their
Right.
Plus app, which gives me enough problems.
Yeah, because the Hulu Live TV we don't have. We just have the regular Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Hulu Live TV, I think that's $70 a month. When I looked into it. So
Oh, shit.
I was just like, if I already have Comcast, I really don't need that. And
Yeah, which is the reason why I didn't get like Comcast or Verizon TV.
Right.
I just have the internet. Yeah.
yeah.
I know, but it gives yourself cover around too.
All right. So before we get out of here, so we reviewed everything. Oh, I want to tease this idea. We had our list that we did, a while back, and then I had issues with my computer, so I couldn't stream the show and have my lists up. So we kind of got away from doing our list. What was it? We were doing our favorite rivalries, right?
I believe so.
So I figure either 1 week or 2 weeks from now, whichever we feel like, I want to restart it. And instead of just going back and, one by one by one, I want us to just fire them all off. All was it 50, right?
Was it 50 or 100?
I thought we did 50.
It might have been 50. I'll have to check if I still have that list.
But we will take an episode and we will just rattle through all of those and basically not give any explanations as to really why until maybe we get to the top 5 or something.
Okay.
But just, because, to save time.
Right.
Now see what I have on here. Favorite match. I just have favorite rivalries. I didn't say how many we had. Yeah, 50.
50. Okay.
Okay.
I'll have to see if I still have that list.
Okay.
If
we can't find it, we can work on that again, or we can just go back to say we talked about wanting to do favorite tag teams as well.
Right. Yes.
And so we could do something like that. I want to get back into our lists. I figured during the build up to WrestleMania and then even the fallout with the draft and everything else that's gone on. Yeah. There's been a lot to talk about. I figure we're getting into, I don't want to say a dead time because summertime in wrestling, I don't feel like is very dead. I think it's become the second biggest time of the year.
Right.
The build up to WrestleMania, and then it's the build up to SummerSlam.
Right. And really, we do have this summer WWE. We've got Clash in June. Mm-hmm. We got Money in the Bank July. We got SummerSlam. We got Bash in Berlin.
Right.
AEW wise, I think we're getting a pay-per-view every month from here to the end of the year now.
Yeah, we're getting Forbidden Door. What's their July pay-per-view?
What was it called? Hold on. Let me see here.
Well, then they got All In and All Out.
Right, yeah, they got All In and All Out. All right, so we got Forbidden Door coming up June 30th, which will be in Long Island.
Okay.
You know what?
An underrated venue for a show.
Yes. You know what? They're not doing anything in July. I thought they were.
Okay.
They're doing All In, All Out, Boom, Boom. And then, let's see here. And then Wrestle Dream is going to be in October, Full Gear November, And then they are doing World's End in December.
Oh, I wonder if we're gonna get another Continental Classic.
I hope we do.
I hope we do too. I really enjoyed that format. I thought that was a lot of fun
as well. I think they did say they were going to do that, and that is a nice little bow at the end of the year, I think. And
so, when does G1 start?
G1's in the summer.
Okay, yeah, because I thought it was around like 4th of July in that area.
Yeah, let's see here. G1 for
I mean, not that it would coincide with that for Japan. Like, they don't give a shit about 4th of July, but.
Right, yeah, no. G1 2024. They haven't even announced it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the tournament last year was July 15th to August 13th. So, yeah,
Okay.
it usually is that July-August range. So
Cool. I look forward to that.
Yes.
I do love the G1. That was when I first got everything signed up for my New Japan World. That was the first thing I did was watch. I binge watched basically all of the G1.
Which makes
a lot of fun. Yes.
That it does.
Those matches are phenomenal. It just, I can't say enough good things about what New Japan Pro Wrestling does in a calendar year.
No, they really do. And I know coming up soon is Dominion, which should be, I believe, June 9th is the usual date for that.
Okay, so I wonder who. Well, since Takeshita won the Eliminator match, I'm assuming he's going to get a championship match. I wonder if it'll be at Dominion.
No, Moxley.
Moxley. Oh, okay.
Right. No, Moxley is defending against Evil. They did say that. That will be Dominion. So.
Ooh, so Mox and Evil at Dominion. Hey, do you think there's any chance that New Japan and AEW would have something worked out to maybe Moxley's defending? I mean, could he even hold on to the IWGP title all the way to say Wrestle Kingdom?
To me, what would make the most sense is have Mox drop it at World's End.
Yeah.
Have the AEW guy drop the New Japan world title to a New Japan wrestler on an AEW show. I know that's a lot of letters I just threw out everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think that would elevate the IWGP title, I think, to the American audience as well.
I agree. And I think that's got to be something that I know New Japan has prioritized is elevating their championship in the eyes of the American audience.
Right, because let's face it, unless you are a huge wrestling nerd like
us, yeah,
you really don't follow New Japan much, and
right,
I think they want that. I mean, you do get it on Access TV. That's the network that whatchamacallit, TNA's on. It's not Vice, it's Access.
Yeah. Right.
We said this earlier. Now it's Access. So yeah, you kind of maybe have someone beat Moxley on American soil to really hype up the title.
Yeah, I think that would make a ton of sense.
All right. Because this Dominion card looks pretty good. So,
yeah.
I just have to see what time on June 9th because I'm reading it. It's got a really good 4-way match. So, I'll be watching it.
June 9th. That is a Sunday, right?
Sunday, yes. How convenient.
Okay. Well, it'll be a Sunday morning for us, so that'll work out.
That it will. Maybe I'll get some breakfast and watch because they have a 4-way for both the tag titles. That'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that, and I like their junior championship division, or light heavyweight, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I enjoy those divisions for New Japan. I think they provide lots of high energy matches.
They really do. And right now they are doing the best of the Super Juniors, and the final will be at Dominion on that day.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I always enjoy the best of the Super Juniors.
yes.
Also enjoy Tag League. I get a kick out of that too for them.
Right. And see, that's one thing I wouldn't mind if AEW did an annual tag team tournament like Tag League. Because
Yeah, like WWE has the Dusty Cup, and
right.
yeah,
I think they would do a World Tag League kind of like the Continental Classic is a knockoff of the G1. They can have Continental Tag Team Classic. I mean, hey, Tony Khan's thinking about more belts. Surprise, surprise.
seriously, that guy has more belts than a rodeo.
He really does. Now it's like if they add anything else, it's going to be ridiculousness at this point.
Well, I like that they finally, whatchamacallit, unified the trios and the 6-man tag titles. Even though I'm sure somebody said, well, one of them is supposed to be a Ring of Honor championship. Okay, let's keep pretending they're two separate brands. Ring of Honor is basically AEW's answer to NXT Level Up.
It pretty much it is. It is.
And I love Ring of Honor, and I love the original Ring of Honor because that was something special.
Yes. Yeah, but like Tony just kind of bought it and said, "Yeah, you're my minor leagues now."
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty
Okay,
much.
we'll hire your announcers. We'll hire a few of your stars,
Yeah.
like Dalton Castle and a couple others.
Yeah.
Josh the Goods Woods is in that.
Before he passed Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe
Right. Yeah. Mark Briscoe's still there. Yeah.
was there. Yeah, so I mean they do have a good variety there.
Yes.
But it really does feel like the minor league. And I'm kind of hoping with all these television negotiations for AEW coming up, I wouldn't mind them try to land Ring of Honor on a television network.
I think it would make sense. I think it should be on a regular network. Although I still want them to keep Honor Club because add some different shows to it. Kind of turn Honor Club into
TNA.
AEW and Ring of Honor streaming service.
Right.
And you can put old episodes of all the shows on there.
Right.
Like if you put all the AEW Darks on there from before they got rid of AEW Dark, I would binge watch some of those.
Right. Or excuse me, if I'm some bigwig at Time Warner at this point, I might be thinking, hey, maybe it's time for me to try to make a deal to get their pay-per-views on Max.
I have been all about that for a long time. I think that would be perfect. I would actually watch some of their pay-per-views. Because look, I ain't justifying spending $50 for something that is not going to be as good as something that I spend $10 for every month to watch. Not only do I get that show, I get every show basically in the history of the company. And I get all the other things that Peacock provides, all the other shows, movies, etc. So please explain to me why I should spend $50 for, I'm sorry, second-rate wrestling when I can spend $10 a month, get the best of sports entertainment and TV and movies and all that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave. I know, Dave. He just bashed AEW real bad. I know. You're crying. My call to Dave Meltzer.
FDM. That should be on a shirt.
Oh God, because it's ridiculous. Like how some of these people, and I see it all the time online. People trying to justify things, and
Look, and I like AEW. Like,
as
I
do I.
really do. I want it to be great. Right now, it's good. I want it to be great.
Right. And I think, like we said, they need someone else besides. And I was texting my brother this over the weekend.
Yeah.
They really need to get somebody besides,
Corny or Bischoff.
right,
Just, yeah.
besides the Bucks and Kenny to have
Yeah.
control before it gets too far down the WCW rabbit hole of creative control.
Which I know you don't have Vice, but this has got to be available somewhere, or if not, man, you'll have to come over to my place and watch this. The Vice is doing a special. I don't know how many episodes it is. Who killed WCW?
4 episodes.
Yeah,
Dwayne and Danny are behind it.
yeah.
They're producing it, I guess, with Evan and I guess the Dark Side guys are
Right. Yeah, the Dark Side of the Ring guys. Yeah.
just like what they did with Tales of the Territories. I think they're working with Dwayne Johnson and his business partner / ex-wife Danny Garcia, which I still don't understand that relationship.
Yeah.
But that's some Freudian stuff that I can't even delve into. But
Yeah, I think we got a different podcast for that.
yeah. But I think it's a 4-part series. I am looking forward whenever I will be able to watch that because I want to see who they blame for the death of WCW.
Okay. If I put it on you, who do you put? Who do you think killed WCW?
No.
Who do I personally think?
Yes.
I can't limit it to one person.
All right. Who would you give majority of blame to?
I give a lot of equal blame.
Okay.
To me, there's 4 men who deserve 25% blame. 4 or a little bit less because there's other names involved, but
Sure.
I'll give 20% each to Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan,
Okay.
Eric Bischoff, and Vince Russo.
Okay.
I would say those 4 have like 80% of the blame because Nash I think deserves a lot of it between him and Hogan between the finger poke and Nash having to go over Goldberg. If they don't defeat Goldberg, especially in the way they did,
that stupid freaking taser thing. Ugh.
They could have played that streak for another year, I think.
Yeah.
Bischoff did plenty of bad things.
Sure.
Hogan, finger poke of doom, Bash at the Beach 2000, creative control. Again, creative control for a wrestler is not good for a wrestling company. And one would think Tony would have seen that in the past and said, yes, you guys are executive vice presidents, but you're not having creative control over your story.
Yeah, you would think.
And Russo, well, we know what Russo did. Now, who do you blame for the death of WCW?
Look, I think all the cases you just made for those 4 individuals are good and legit cases. I would blame. I'll take the easy answer and go Time Warner. Because when AOL, excuse me, when they bought Time Warner and they had that merger, AOL had no interest in wrestling anymore and were just going to sell the product at the second they could to whoever would buy it.
Right.
And they didn't even have the TV on their TV stations, even though it was the number one rated show on their stations, which to me blows my damn mind. And now you've seen a generation later, they're more than willing to put it back on the air because they need fucking ratings.
To me, and this is one of the big things and one of the more unsung heroes in the history of professional wrestling, Ted Turner always had wrestling on his network because it brought in people. When he started his Channel 17 and said, I'm going to feed it to the country, people thought he was nuts. Georgia Championship Wrestling was his top show. Ted Turner always said, I will have wrestling on my networks. Soon as he lost power, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I really think he is one of the unsung heroes of professional wrestling that you don't hear his name get enough credit because he gave Georgia. He had that year with Vince.
Yeah, we had Black Saturday when Vince McMahon took over Georgia Championship Wrestling's time slot.
We had the Championship Wrestling from Georgia with Ole Anderson, Ed Mid-South going on with Vince because the ratings were so low. Then the Crockett, the golden, to me, the golden peak of TBS wrestling was that 85 to 89, 88 Crockett broadcast at 6:05. And then still Saturday night was still good even under the WCW banner.
I love WCW Saturday night. Yeah, until basically when they brought Nitro in, they stopped caring about WCW Saturday night. They didn't do anything with it anymore.
And even then, it was quality as the second show. It's when they started doing Thunder, and then they started. I still watch Saturday night.
I did too until it ended. Yeah,
I know it's some things a lot of people won't admit. I watched Saturday night when it was really a C show, but I enjoyed the matches on it.
Sure.
Compared to I thought Saturday night was better than Thunder half the time.
Like some of the matches that WCW Saturday night had, like, Sting and Flair when they had their match on WCW Saturday night, that was so cool. Was it 94?
Yeah.
Their world title match on WCW Saturday night. Dustin Rhodes and Vader in the semifinals of the King of Cable. Yeah. That was a really cool match.
When Vader powerbomb Jack on the floor on Saturday night.
Yes, yeah. Steamboat and Pillman in the Lumberjack match.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of great matches on WCW Saturday night. And really, all that is thanks to what happened with the Superstation and Ted Turner putting pro wrestling on the national, TV map.
Yeah.
And that was because Vince McMahon wanted to go national. That's why he had to have that national spot. And then when that didn't work on TBS, he goes into the All-American and starts running that on USA. And
he had All-American before.
Well, yeah. But then, so what was it? Then the show that was on Primetime Wrestling, when he had that on Monday nights, that was replaced by Monday Night Raw.
Right. Yeah. Prime time was 85 to 92.
Right.
And that's when Raw came January 93.
January 93, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I think that's going to do it for us. Great night, great time as always, Mike. Say good night to the kids for me.
I think we're watching a movie now.
Okay.
Yes.
It was great having them on to start the show. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, and then their school.
I know you were worried about it turning into a train wreck. I think it actually worked out pretty well.
I think it did. I think it did.
Yeah. So, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Mike, anything to add before we get out of here?
No, I think we're good for the week.
All right.
Next week.
Thank you so much, everybody, and happy. Yeah.
Yep. For NXT.
What was that?
Next week will be the NXT prediction.
Yeah.
For Battleground.
Yes. Yeah. We'll have to do the NXT prediction show next week. So, everybody, thank you so much, and happy wrestling, everybody.